workplace raises money for, to also raise money for another local charity that was supported by the young kid Jordan who sadly died in the lightning accident, because he's from Blackpool and that's close to where I work, where my workplace is. So then I had to do twice as much walking as I'd intended to do in the whole week in just 3 days. So I did a lot of walking this weekend. Not like David levels of walking. Don't get me wrong. I haven't done any 20-mile days like what he's up to. But yeah. So that's kind of what I'd done. But it did involve me walking on a couple of paths in my hometown. Well, not where I live now, but where I grew up in Lytham, that I'd never walked on before. Around the docks in Lytham, which everyone knows Lytham for its windmill and its green and its old people. But there's a small dock as well round the back. So yeah.
Well, I must admit I've stayed there a couple of times and I didn't know it had a dock. So
well, you stayed in St Anne's though, haven't you?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So I had this conversation with actually a Wigan fan who I saw on a Facebook had been in Lytham St Anne's on Sunday, and I said, I was in Lytham. I didn't see you though, because, well, and she said, I get confused. I think I've been in St Anne's most of the day, not Lytham. And I explained it. St Anne's is the one with the sand. Lytham's the one with the windmill. That's the way. Split.
That's quite handy to think about.
Blackpool's the one with the smackheads. Yeah.
Should we go?
I don't think I've got a recommendation. Next week, what we got coming up? It's Tim. Tim's back next week. What's actually, whilst we're doing this, then let's have a look and see if Tim will be ground announcing this weekend. Coventry hosts the London Scholars. That could have been an outsider for game of the week if actually in League One, if we hadn't just done the Bears. That could be a spicy one, couldn't it? I think that'd be close.
They'll be looking to back up their win, will Coventry, without question. So yeah, that'll be good.
So that's an interesting game for Tim. So we'll get Tim's take on that game and other stuff, and that's it, innit? Yeah. Make sure you get around us on the socials, at Super League Pod on Twitter and Instagram. I'm refusing to put any pictures on the Instagram till I can go back into a stadium. So there you go. Facebook.com/Super League Pod as well, if you're a Facebooker rather than a Twitterer. SuperLeaguePod@gmail.com if you want to send us something a little more lengthy. Check out superleaguepod.com for all the details of this episode, other episodes, the bits of writing we've done so far this year. Do you know what? 3 weeks ago I was like, I'm going to do a blog post every week. That hasn't fucking happened. But anyway, if I do one, it'll be there. I've got some time off at the end of the week, so maybe. You never know.
Best laid plans of mice and men.
But at the very least, if you go there, you'll find links to the Google Forms for fan views and for news views. You can search for the show on Spreak, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Spotify, Overcast, anywhere else you normally find your podcast, and we're on YouTube too. Make sure, whatever you use us on, if you can give a rating or a subscribe to the show on multiple platforms or whatever, that all helps make us look like more people listen than actually do. Do you want to shout out to our friends?
Yep, so Rob's Toy Shop. Enter SLP discount on checkout at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay and get 5% cash back on orders over £5, plus give 1% cash back to SLP. Little Warden, vital alerts for hidden issues. Head to littlewarden.com to see what they can do for you. And Sarah's Bookcase. Sarah sells Usborne books with access to over 3,000 titles from baby to young adult. There's something for everyone. Find out more on Facebook.
Yeah, it actually is an issue I want to raise before we drop.
Go on.
Okay, Anthony Gelling has been found not guilty or what have you, but surely, given what he did do, regardless of the circumstances of doing it, it should lead to the man of the people tag being dropped. Yeah, George Riley seemed to just want to heap praise and such like onto Anthony Gellin, and I think George Riley needs to be dropped from coverage of Rugby League for that reason and other reasons.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of other reasons as well.
As good a broadcaster as he actually is in just the broadcasting role, it's just like we talk about Rob Louis, a good player, doesn't mean that he's a good husband.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with that.
Anyway, that's a shitty final thought, but
yeah,
but it was just lingering in my mind, so I had to make it. Let's say goodbye for the 301st time, and speak to you all next week.
Bye.